Namaste, beautiful souls. Welcome to Marseille Monday. And today I'm going to be offering 3 readings, and I look forward to your input and your feedback on the questions, on the readings, and also invite you in future episodes to please leave a comment below in the form of a question, and I will answer your question in one of the future episodes. Today I am featuring the Tarot of Revisit by Ben Gross. He is a London born painter and musician living in Rivesaltes in the Roussillon region of southern France. After having produced 3 different series of the 22 major arcana, he found inspiration in the character and expressions of the historic tarot created by Jean-Pierre Payen in Avignon in 1713 and began work on his first full 78 card deck. For the artist, painting the tarot is not only a way of reviving the luminosity of its colors, but moreover a way of studying, meditating upon, and assimilating the forms and symbols inherent in the imagery. The artist hopes that this work may offer a bridge between the past and the present and the future, whilst respecting the tradition of tarot. These original paintings were created between 2016 and 2019 using vibrant ceramic paint and porcelain outliner on canvas boards. This is a deck that I have loved looking at since it came in hand. These are extra large cards and just incredibly beautiful colors. So I hope you enjoy the readings today. Question number 1. What do I need to know about my ongoing illness? And while I don't tend to read medically unless I am working personally with a client, the way that I will approach this is through an elemental level, connection with the elements. Perhaps there is a particular layer of element to help the querent deepen their understanding and connection with their ongoing illness. And as always, I ask these messages be in the highest for the greatest good, and that no harm be done. So be it. Earth. Sacred journey in the earth. Something perhaps a little more connected. That maybe this illness, that this ongoing, lingering situation you find yourself in is one that is asking you to slow down. This card reminds me of uh, a an event, an annual event that happened in a town where I used to live called a Slow Food Cycle. And the event was to take you from farm stand to farm stand, to travel around the community, to pause at each of these locations, perhaps to have a glass of wine, to eat some food, to be in conversation with other people, to find connection. And I am reminded of the fact that knights were indeed on spiritual quests. So I'm going to say that this ongoing illness is one that is simply here to take you to a deeper place, a deeper understanding of who you are and why you are, and that your journey can be aided through your connection with the earth itself. And the slower that you go, the clearer this is all going to become. And here we have a very clear idea that is emerging through a window. Something very pointed. When I think of those two, the idea of the 2 swords and polar opposite ideas, polar opposite thoughts, those differing opinions, those differing sides, those things that perhaps have pulled you in different directions, were there to expand you. They created an opening. And so I wonder if going back to where you were not so long ago in this kind of place of opposition, this place of confusion, not knowing which way to turn, and go back and look at those two sides. I think that what's coming through here is a way to find clarity and understanding by not being on one shore or the other, but by embracing both. And that indeed this spiritual journey, this quest that you are on is about finding the middle way, finding a place of clarity and deeper understanding. And here is a 10. So one of the beautiful things about this card showing up is that I feel you are well on your way to arriving in a place where it's going to make sense, where you don't feel so divided and so confused, where everything presents itself and it's like all the pennies fall into place, all the misinformation, the misunderstanding, the uncertainty and the doubt arrives and lands, and you feel more fulfilled and you feel safer. And that I'd say this 10 of coins is one of, it's a sign that this all is indeed evolving. And the page of, or the Knight of Coins, is very much moving into this place of, I want to say understanding. I was going to use the word contentment, but I feel that it's just coming together and you are about to arrive here and it's all going to make sense very soon. But the piece about this Three of Swords feels, I feel like what I said about the, you don't have to be, you don't have to be walking with one foot on each shore. You could hop into the boat and row down the middle. And that's where you will find the peace and the beauty. And I look at how this central sword has evolved into this expanding and united growth in the center of the 10 of Pentacles, almost like we have an inversion of this diagram here. So here we see these two swords that are bowed and creating this opening, and here they are, that's like they're reversed and they all come together where you don't feel torn apart any longer. Okay? So, I hope that helps. From what I understand, this question comes from a place of truly wanting to know that there is a sense of impatience while there has been lifelong learning and trust and spiritual practices and a relatively positive mindset. This person is swimming now. And kind of like that previous question, they feel like they are walking with one leg on different shores and they're looking for a place of contentment, much like we saw in the previous reading. So, how can I continue to keep, to develop a mindset of abundance and continue to trust in the process. And I know in some way or another that we've all been here. We do our best. We try to do things that honor abundance in all ways, not just in finance. Where we see abundance, there is abundance. And yet sometimes we need reassurance. And I feel like that's what the purpose of this reading is for reassurance. Okay. I really do love the Eight of Coins in that it's a foundation on a foundation. It is a mirror reflection. It's a 4 and a 4. You are and have been building over a long period of time. And it is starting to show. Even if you can't see it, what was a foundation is now a second layer. There is growth, there is balance, there is harmony. You are indeed doing everything right, in case you were um, doubting that. Okay. And another 8. So, what do we know about the number 8 and how that might confound or support you at this time? Well, we know that they move. It's a symbol it's symbolic of the lemniscate, of perpetual motion, of growth. It's also a place of going to the next step, the next level, moving to a place where you can't go back. It's like once you look behind the curtain, you've looked behind the curtain. You can't unsee what you know. And here we have the 8 of air, the 8 of earth, the 8 of the here and now, and the 8 of the mind. And I wonder if there's some conflict between this expansion of mind, growth, intellect, and wisdom, and being here in this earth, in this place. I would say generally it's positive that you have an 8 upon an 8. And I would say that builds where I was talking about a foundation and a second floor, that with this suit of air, you are indeed building upon that. We have four fours in essence here. And yet I feel the window is small. The central flower in the center here is quite small. Um, it's quite crowded. It is not, I don't feel the expansiveness that you may need to breathe and to move. Maybe I feel a sense of overwhelm, and that my advice might be to somehow clear and make space for this new abundance, for new growth to come in. And it's funny as I say this, I'm reminded of very old teachings and things that are just so fundamental to growth and expansion. We need to make space and make way for the new to come in. We must, that which we no longer use needs to be passed on. The windows need to be opened so the air can come in. there needs to be this idea of circulation. And so when I think again about all of these fours, maybe, your sacred pond, your sacred space is becoming a little stagnant. There's not a lot of space for movement or breath. Okay, and then we have fire. I laugh because maybe it just means you need to torch a lot of the stuff that no longer serves. And yet we have um, a rather large gate here as well too. There is a tiny bit of an opening in the card on the left, but I feel like you can't see down the path ahead. These are all even cards, which I feel speaks to a steady um, a steady gait, a steady pace, things happening in twos, things happening in a balanced nature. We have a harmony among elements. There is one element that's not here, which is water. So that may be a good thing, the absence of water. And yet at the same time, when one element is obviously not present, I wonder if that is a quality that is missing. Are you overdoing, over intellectualizing? Are you being too matter of fact and practical about your situation? And when I look at these three cards, I want to come in with a broom and sweep here and make space for what lies ahead. I think with the Six of Fire, the Six of Wands coming in as the third card, it's a call to action, to movement, to doing something, to burning something. On one hand, all of these cards are greater than 5. You are past the most difficult place in the journey. And yet, it's it's busy. It's overwhelming. And when I think about no water, maybe you just need a good cry. Something like that kind of advice comes to mind. Also, the fact that you don't have a major archetype here tells me that you may be getting lost in the details rather than having sight of the big picture. So, where I'm going to leave you with this today is this: what one thing could you clear away today by burning it, by donating it, by passing it on, that would make space for this abundance that you continue to seek? Open the window. Continue to clear, to move things out. There, there's a sense of crowding that isn't serving. Okay? And find comfort in the number 6 being the third card. I trust in the number 6. It's beauty, it's peace, it's harmony, it's moving you towards something, but there's some action that definitely is being called. Thank you. The next question comes from an adult who is wanting to go back to school and considering the field of education. And I think they are also asking, is this the right field for me? What do I need to know about about investing in my future, more education, more university. Is this a good path for me? And most specifically, what is my role in the world of education? And I hope that the cards can open up or perhaps even present a question or open a window that, or a point of view that you may not have thought of before. And as always, I ask this message be in the highest for the greatest good, and let no harm be done. So be it. Hmm. Administrator, or maybe even university professor, someone who guides and rules, someone who is quite articulate, maybe um, the world of, and I don't know what your um, previous education is, or the field of education you had considered, but this feels kind of administrative. Um, Maybe even this could have to do with governance. I don't know if you have thought of moving to, like in the Ministry of Education, or not actually in the school system itself. All right, so let's see what we have here. Wow, okay. How unusual is that? We have the Queen and the King of Swords showing up here. And so this is definitely, I would say, higher education. Whether this means you find yourself in university as a professor, or you find yourself um, beyond an education degree, in that you may require extra training to be an administrator of sorts. And I had mentioned um, Ministry of Education, or maybe school board level, or some sort of administrative level. This could easily be a school principal, a school vice principal. But I think there are, I mean, why would the Queen and the King of Swords both appear in this reading? I think it might also speak to your ability or your innate talent to, and I'll use the verb rule, to rule from both sides of your brain, to rule from a place of fairness. And I can't not see Libra and the energy of Venus in the Queen of Swords, and yet having that logical and firm and um, the power that, not not power in a bad way, but the strength that would be required to follow this as a career. I think it's lovely that both of these qualities show up here for you. So take some time to think about your role as an administrator, your role as um, and it may very well begin within the school system. But with all these cards here, there's a level of governance that I think is calling to you. Maybe there, when I look at this Ace of Swords, maybe as a student yourself, you felt that there was something that could be done could be done better. And here you are picking up a case, picking up a voice, picking up a sword, picking up a truth, something, or maybe a group of people you felt were underserved in the education system. I don't see you being a kindergarten teacher. I don't see you um, with anything less than great responsibility. Thank you. If you have a question for next week or one of the following episodes, please be sure to leave it in the comments below. Have a lovely rest of your day. Namaste.